guys, remember, the goal is not to make profit. You can make profit very easy. It's about keeping your money and not being able to blow the fucking account. Like, I maintained a break even the whole time I had this account, and I'm happy with that. And that was because I was testing 2 different ideas. This isn't how I actually trade. This was 2 ideas that I was using this account for to test. And so it worked out for me, and I break even on both of them. And so one of the ideas was a little too much for me. One of the ideas wasn't enough for me. So I'm going to meet in the middle, and I'm going to continue what I was doing in the past, is 2 different positions, 1 position at 1-to-1, 1 position at 1-to-2. The only difference is my time frames, the 4-hour, 15-minute instead of daily 1 hour. Alright, so before we get into this video, I just want you guys to know I'm no financial advisor, I'm no special trader, I'm not trying to teach anybody anything. All of that, you guys have heard it before in my other videos. So, anyways, if you guys watched my last video, you would know that this week I was going to be sticking to a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, taking 1 position, and I was going to be using this as my last week of testing before I get the real FTMO for this upcoming week, which is like next week for me because it's Saturday night, but you know, I'm going to have it ready for, you know, this upcoming week. I'm going to do that this weekend here, probably tomorrow before the market opens or something, but yeah. But anyways, jumping right into it. So last week, what I did was this last week that we had of trading, I stuck to a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, and I was sticking to 1 position instead of taking, you know, 2 different positions, and then one of the positions had to take profit of 1-to-1 and a stop loss. You know, the stop losses are the same, the entry prices are the same. One of the positions had to take profit of 1-to-1, and the other position had to take profit of 1-to-2. And, you know, for example, if you're taking a trade and you're putting 1% risk on it, each one of those positions would be 0.5 risk, same stop loss, same entry price, different take profits. And that ultimately comes out to a 1.15 risk reward ratio. 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio, I meant, but I just didn't really have the time to take 2 different positions like I used to with the daily and 1 hour. Like, when I was using the daily and 1 hour, I had all the time in the world to take positions like that, but I can't do that when I'm using the 4-hour and 15-minute. But I'll go into it in a little bit after we break down the charts, or not the charts, but after we break down this equity curve right here, of kind of what I learned this week through doing that, and you know, what I'm going to be changing moving forward in the way I'm managing my risk to make it better and to be more psychologically conducive for myself. So anyways, getting into the equity curve here, so in the last video, as you can see, we pretty much, so this was not this past week of trading, but the week before that, in the previous video we did, I was using a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, and you can see that we pretty much almost hit 5%, and then it came crashing all the way down. And so what I needed to do, you can see that pretty much, okay, so here is right about here, yep, so right here where this line is, so this is the 1 week of trading, and then this is another week. So this was one with a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio, and then this all right here was with a 1-to-1 risk reward ratio. You can see that the equity curves are pretty similar, right? So we pretty much on the previous week, like, you know, 2 weeks ago for me now, we almost hit 5%, and then we came crashing down, and then ended up going negative. And I think the part of the reason for that was because you know, I'm trading so many different pairs, so my equity curve isn't as clean as it could be. And also, you know, since my win rate averages about a 50% win rate with a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio, it was averaging about a 43% win rate with a 1-to-2. I'm not taking 100 trades on each pair over the course of a week. You know, it's just, I'm only probably taking like 10 trades a week on every pair that I trade. And I'm trading 20 from pairs, so that's about 200 trades a week or whatever, which kind of matches up with this. But, you know, like, my edge doesn't play out within a week. Like, I gotta stretch it over the course of a month or 2, maybe even a quarter. But anyway, starting off this week, which was, so this right here was about the data. You know, this is about the data for this week, right? So this was using a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. You can see that we started the account negative this week, which was fine. I wasn't worried about it because it was only down like 1%. Like, that's literally nothing. That's so easy to come back from. Anyways, throughout the week, we were doing really good. Remember, guys, this is a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and I was taking one position. And you can see that we were doing really good, actually. Like, you know, we just kept going up and up and up. And we got about midway through the week. This is on the 2nd of February, which is like Wednesday, I think it is. So the 2nd was Wednesday. So about midway through the week. Also taking into consideration, this was NFP week, so the markets were a little whacked out. Towards the end of the week, you start to see the markets having a little bit more of spiking, the volatility's a little bit more, all of that kind of good stuff that we like to see in the market and whatnot. But anyways, about Wednesday, and then we just kind of came crashing down. Like, we were literally almost up 2%. I wasn't, you know, it was a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, so I honestly wasn't expecting to be profitable this week. I was expecting to be break-even at the very minimum. Not break-even on the account, but starting where the account started this week, which was negative 1%. I was expecting to stay around negative 1% just because I know how my strategy works and my setups and probabilities and expectations, because I've been trading it for so long. Like, I've just gotten used to it, you know, like I've learned the ins and outs of it, and so I'm just trying different ways to manage my risk, to be able to minimize my losses and maximize my profits. Anyways, but what I was seeing this week, what I was thinking was, I saw that this was doing really good, right? So if I was taking two different positions, 1-to-1 and then 1-to-2, splitting my risk between those two positions, same entry price, same stop loss, one of the trades has a take profit of 1-to-1, one of the trades has a take profit of 1-to-2, ultimately it would come out to a 1 to 1.5 risk reward ratio. I would have been able to, this week, I would have been able to actually at a little bit of profit. I would have had a little bit of profit this week because we're kind of sitting at break even on the account. We made more profit than where I started this week, although it's like literally 0.5%. That's still okay because that's better than most traders can do. Like, my number one goal is not to be fucking some best trader. I'm not trying to make millions of fucking dollars overnight. Like, I am trying to, at the very minimum, stay break even on the accounts, because if I can maintain a break even on an account, that means that I'm doing better than 95% of traders around the world, and I'm in that top 5% that are going to make it in being profitable. I'm not saying that if you're not profitable now or you can't maintain a break-even account, I'm not saying you won't become profitable, because it took me so long to be able to just get to break-even. It took me years to get to break-even, and then, you know, now I'm starting to see, like, actually being able to make profits for literally the past year only. But anyways, we were doing really good, and so once the week kind of ended, I was looking at this, and I was like, wow, well, if I, you know, basically what I figured is 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio, on the psychological standpoint, that's too much for me. I cannot do that. I can't handle that type of drawdown that had. So I think 1-to-1 isn't enough for me. Like, psychologically, it's not enough for me, but 1-to-2 is too much. So I got to kind of meet it halfway, and I'm going to have to do the one, like, taking two positions and splitting my risk between those two positions. I'm going to have to go back to that just because that's psychologically, I know exactly what I can be expecting. I know my equity curve, what I can be expecting with that, and it's just going to be so much better for me psychologically. And so anyways, that's what I came to the conclusion for. But we pretty much we came back down. We dipped a little bit lower than where the account started. So we dipped to about 2% here. We dipped to about 2% on Thursday night. And then we pretty much, the account, like, I had a bunch of winning trades, and I was like, all right, you know, for Thursday night, I was like, fuck it, I'm, you know, like, I was pretty much losing trade. It felt like I was losing trade after trade, and it sucked, and, you know, I was just tired of the week because, you know, about halfway through the week, pretty much Wednesday night and Thursday night were just shitty nights, and it ate up all my profits, and I wasn't too stressed out about it because I understood that I'm using a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, and those drawdowns are going to happen, and using a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio, the equity chart isn't going to be as clean as if I was using a 1 to 1.5 or a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio. Like, the chart wouldn't be as clean. It would pretty much just kind of, like, it would maintain itself, you know, it would have equity highs and then equity lows, and that's kind of what happened here. Nothing too, you know, nothing too bad on the chart. Like, literally, we went up and we came down. honestly, this is pretty much what I expected for the week, is to maintain break even. I'm very happy that I actually made a little bit of profit, even though it was 0.5%. What that shows me, though, is my mental discipline was there, and also the strategy that I'm using is still valid, even with a 1-to-1. So if I were to, keep taking, if I was to stick to the 1-to-1 and keep doing that for the rest of the month, if I was to trade that for a month straight for 4 weeks, I don't know the percentage returns that I can expect on that, but what I could expect is to be in profit, because what this shows me, taking into consideration this was NFP week, it's pretty much NFP week is a shitty week to trade out of the whole month, but what this showed me is that the strategy is profitable, and I am profitable over the long run. So if I were to open up my risk to reward ratios, worst case scenario, I lose a small amount. Medium case scenario, I break even on a trade. Best case scenario, I have a big winner and my equity highs go up through the roof. So I'm super excited to see what this week brings, because this is going to be the real FTMO week. Like, the next video I'm going to upload is going to be a real FTMO account. I'm super excited for that, but what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to do 2 positions, one at 1-to-1 and one at 1-to-2, and that's fine. What I'm going to have to do, though, is for me to be able to, because I have a time issue there, because that takes a lot of time to plug in those positions. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to find the pairs that I want to trade. There's 2 ways that I was thinking of doing it, is either cutting down the amount of trades that I'm taking. In turn, what I mean by that is cutting down the amount of pairs that I'm trading. So instead of trading 20 pairs, I would trade like 10 pairs or something, just because of the time management that I would take on that. And then also I wrote in my notebook, because it was kind of an idea I had. So when I plug in my trades in MetaTrader, I usually don't execute the trade, because when you go in to take the trade, right, and you get the take profit, stop loss, and the entry levels, if you put in a buy limit or sell limit, because I only fuck with limited orders, I don't do market executions. That's just me, the way that I trade. That's me personally. I'm very picky like that. So I know some people wait for candlestick confirmations. This is just the way that I trade. Everybody's different. But anyways, with limit orders, you can, plug in your stop loss, take profit, and entry price, and usually I don't execute the order unless I have all 3 of those numbers plugged in, just so I don't have to do it. So this is one of the scenarios that I was thinking to be able to split my positions, is I either I cut down the amount of pairs that I'm trading, or when I do have my setup, right, what I would do is I put in for my limit order, because it'll save me so much time. What I'll do is I'll put in my entry price, like where I want to get in at, then I execute the order, then I put the order in, so I just kind of let it be. I do 2 positions, splitting my risk, so when I go in, and let's say it's a buy limit, I would put in, this is the price I want to enter at, right? I would say, this is the price I want to enter at, right? And then I would do that for my 2 trades, and I would execute them without putting in my stop loss or take profit. Then after those trades are already sitting in my pending orders, they're ready to go, once price gets to the level I want to enter at, then, it would execute, and I don't have to worry about that. So then what I would do is I would go into the order and modify it, and what that does is it deletes the factor of me not being able to getting into the trade. What would happen sometimes is I would get into one trade, and then my other trade would get into a different price. It would just fuck my whole situation up. So it would just be a lot faster, and it would be a lot cleaner for me to do that. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying right there, but that doesn't really matter, because I understand what I'm saying. But anyways, there's that. I also wrote in my notes, I was going to backtest a 20 pip stop loss, but honestly, I'm chilling with, because this is a thing I've been reading a lot of books and articles on psychology and stuff, and the way that the male brain works, because I noticed that female traders, they pick this up so much faster than male traders do, and they're so much better at it, and it's just because of the way our minds work. Think about it in a relationship, right? Usually, or even like this, usually don't fix something if it's not broken. And usually males, they tend to want to, even if something's not broken, they tend to want to try to fix it, or that mindset of making it better. And that's the mindset that I have, because I'm a male, is I'm very competitive as a person, and I want to be better. I want my trading strategy to be better. But the thing is it honestly probably won't be better, because what I'm doing at that point is trying to inflict my own will onto the market, and it doesn't work like that. So I think what I need to do now is I have my strategy. I need to stop trying to make it better with my risk management because it already, and I've proven myself. I've tried so many different things over the past weeks, like literally over the past 10 weeks with the videos you guys have seen. I've tried so many different things. I've tested so many different things, and I've come to the conclusion that what I have is working. What I'm doing now, like just taking 2 positions, the way that I look at the markets with the 4-hour, 15-minute, taking those trades, taking 2 different positions at 1-to-1, or taking 1 position at 1-to-1, and another position at 1-to-2, letting that run, let it do its thing the way that I've been doing things. That's just the way to go, and honestly, I need to stop focusing so much on my risk management and the charts. I just need to focus on the execution, and I just need to continue reading my psychology books and studying myself instead of the charts. So that's what I'm going to start doing from now on. I'm still going to do these videos for you guys, but I'm going to stop working so much on my strategy and my risk management, and I'm going to start focusing more on myself and just becoming a better person. But yeah, there's that. Also a big thing I noticed too is this going to keep me mentally aware, because basically what I said was, because on each of my pairs that I back tested, I'm averaging a 50% win rate on each one of those pairs. We're averaging about 53%, 49%, averaging on average a 50% win rate on each one of those pairs that I'm trading. So that's 20 different pairs, the Forex majors and minors. I don't trade the GBP pairs. I don't trade Euro Odd or Euro Entity. They're just too volatile. The only GBP pair I trade is Euro GBP. Other than that, it's the Forex minors and majors. But so on each one of those trades, it's averaging a 50% win rate. But the thing is, I'm not getting 100 trades on each pair within 1 week. What I'm getting though, I'm not getting 100 trades each week on each pair. I'm getting maybe like 20 to 30 different trade setups a week on each pair. So my edge doesn't fully play out in 1 week. It's going to take about 2, 3, maybe even a month. It's going to take 2 or 3 weeks, maybe even a month for my, for that edge to play out, because within a month I'll have 100 trades, right? So I just need to be patient on terms of monthly. That's why we broke even this week, is because this week I had more losing trades than I did winning. Well, I mean, it was kind of the same. I had more winning trades than losing trades this week because I made a little bit of profit, like 0.5%. But it's literally like, that's kind of it. Is literally, that's one big psychological thing that I kind of thought of this week. I realized was, wow, I'm not getting 100 trades. I'm getting 100 trade setups overall within a week, but I'm not. My strategy is over the course of 100 trades on that specific pair. So, since I'm taking all these different trades, the edge, at that time, it may just be a week where, I have losing trades on some pairs and they kind of balance out like it did this week. Pretty much break even. So next week I'm expecting to be better. There's that. This video is getting pretty long though, so I'm just going to kind of get with it. That's all I wrote in my notebook this week. You can see that the account is literally down less than 1%, so you can see that pretty much the whole time I've had this account, I've been kind of sitting at break even. Like literally, I haven't dipped, like I haven't ended a week less than 1%, so that's absolutely stellar for me. It may be a thing where you're like, oh, he didn't make profit, or oh this, or oh that. Like, guys, remember, the goal is not to make profit. You can make profit very easy. It's about keeping your money and not being able to blow the fucking account. Like, I maintained a break even the whole time I had this account, and I'm happy with that. And that was because I was testing 2 different ideas. This isn't how I actually trade. This was 2 ideas that I was using this account for to test. And so it worked out for me, and I break even on both of them. And so one of the ideas was a little too much for me. One of the ideas wasn't enough for me. So I'm going to meet in the middle. And I'm going to continue what I was doing in the past, is 2 different positions, 1 position at 1-to-1, 1 position at 1-to-2. The only difference is my time frames, the 4-hour, 15-minute instead of daily 1 hour. So here's the risk-reward ratio. The risk, I'm not taking these statistics into consideration. I'm not taking them seriously because remember, 1 week, so 2 weeks ago, I was using a 1-to-2 risk-reward ratio. Then this past week, I was using a 1-to-1 risk-reward ratio. So the statistics are very, very skewed, but essentially on both weeks I pretty much broke even. if we zoom out the chart, you can see that pretty much this week right here, this was 1 week, pretty much broke even, less than 1%, and then this was the week right here. We ended in profit on the week in terms of where the account started to where it is now. But overall, like on the account overall, I'm still negative. But on this week, using 1-to-1, I was more than a 50% win rate, so that's good. And that's pretty much it, guys. Like that's literally this week. It was very boring. I didn't have a lot to talk about this week because it was more in terms of my own head, and I've been focused on what I want to do moving forward. But that's what I want to do moving forward for next week for the real account. You guys know the drill. You'll see me in the next video, though. Next week is going to be a real FTMO account instead of these fucking demo accounts. Just because I've been using the demo accounts to test my ideas because I needed to evolve my strategy to be able to make 10%, and I know I can do that over the course of a month. So, because I see that right here, like, I literally, within a week, I made 2%, although I lost it because the drawdown was a little much. I was able to make 2% in a week, so I'm not really worried about it. Because on a good week, I could be making 3, 4, 5% and then lose. Like this week, I broke even, so I'm not really, like I said, I'm not worried about it. So, anyways, and plus I also get an extension. And if I even make 8% or 10%, I'm not worried about getting funded because I could just go do that on a personal account. But anyways, that's been the video, guys. Pretty boring stuff. Sorry for the lack of energy. I'm just really fucking tired. But, yeah, I guess I'll see you guys in the next video with the real account, so peace out.